Okay, you can continue now.
Okay. So now we'll continue with our regular board meeting. Okay. Call the meeting to order. Did everybody have a chance to look at the minutes from the prior meeting, which was back in October, or no, September?
Okay, you can continue now.
Okay. So now we'll continue with our regular board meeting. Okay. Call the meeting to order. Did everybody have a chance to look at the minutes from the prior meeting, which was back in October, or no, September?
Okay, you can continue now.
Okay. So now we'll continue with our regular board meeting. Okay. Call. What's happening, Lisa? Lisa?
I think she left the meeting. She's coming back. Here we go.
That was quite the replay, Lisa.
I'm sorry. I was trying to live stream it and something happened.
Yeah, I think
put me
the
on a
audio-
delay.
Yeah, I think the audio from the YouTube stream was coming through your computer and then coming back into the meeting. So if you just
Okay,
mute your computer that has the YouTube live stream up, it should be fine.
okay.
Are we set, Lisa?
Yeah, you can go ahead, Dennis.
Okay. We've had a chance to review the minutes. Has
Yes.
everyone reviewed the minutes? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Any questions on the minutes or changes that might be necessary?
No.
No.
I think Kurt was in the last meeting. I didn't see his name on the list of those present.
Okay, I will add him.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion
Second it.
to approve the minutes as amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Okay. Do you have any hearings today, Lisa?
No hearings.
No hearings? Okay. Applications for license renewals
None.
or temporary licenses or changes in licenses?
None.
None? Okay. Experience records. You sent out maybe 15 of them?
Yes, and I apologize for the delay on that.
Well, I could see that Vaughn reviewed a bunch of them, and I know I've reviewed all of them. Maybe we'll just go down the list and,
Can we go in alphabetical order?
boy,
I have them in alphabetical order if I can state the name of
Okay.
any. Okay, the first one is Anthony Arena.
okay,
I'm in a agreement with Vaughn that maybe we should get a little more information on him. I know he's going for the single phase license, but with Isaac, you know, they're HVAC typically, that's what they do. They're new into this electrical market, and with past stuff, it'd just be nice to have a little more clarification, and I believe he's got plenty of time to get it to us.
And that would be what his job duties are at Isaac, you said?
My
Correct.
concern would be that he's working for Isaac and he's not solely doing electrical work because they're not geared that way. their electricians are doing, when they do an electrical service upgrade, it's to facilitate a heat pump or something else that they're doing. It's not specifically to go in and do electrical work in a house. It's usually when other work that they're doing requires electrical. And currently their licensed electrician, this is one of the companies that I brought up before where the guys that are doing the electrical work are not necessarily the skilled electricians. So we have a lot of problems with, their work passing on the first go around. So my thing is knowing how Isaac is geared, that he hasn't presented enough information to tell me that he would have the knowledge or skill. There's nothing on there about schooling. He hasn't attended, there's no union classes, there's no college, MCC classes, there's no ABC classes. There's lots of opportunity for training. Both there's nothing on his application that says he's gotten any other.
Okay, I can send out a letter to him requesting a letter describing his duties at Isaac.
I think that would be prudent in this one.
Yeah, and how much time he spends on it. Okay, he's only got a total of 5,000 hours that he's identified. And based on that, if he's only spending half of his time on actually doing electrical work, then he doesn't quite make it.
Okay,
All right.
okay. The next one is Colin Ball.
Yeah, I would do the same with him. Ask for what his job duties are. Granted, he's only going for single phase, but Red Rochester used to be part of Duke Energy. So I think that they might be doing electrical work, but it was the old Kodak operation there. So his duties and stuff, we'd have to know a little bit more about.
Yeah, that was one that I sent back about the fact his only work history is Red Rock Energy and St. John Fisher College. There's no real description of the type of work he did. And I just said to request additional description verification of the work that he had performed at both of those employers. Because like Dennis said, if you work at Red Rock Energy for, you may not ever do anything except watch a switchboard for how the turbines are running.
Okay, I will send him out a letter.
Okay.
The next one is Zachary Belair.
I'm good with Zach.
I'm good with that.
Pass.
Approve.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is Eugene Boos.
The Eugene Boos was the one that I wanted to kind of mention a little bit because if you look at his documents that he attached to his app, you're going to see that he has a passing ICC exam on there. And I know, one of the things with the ICC test is that it's sort of, I don't want to say universal, but like Kurt said, it's across the United States. So if you take your exam in California and you came to New York and you had passed the ICC test, it's the same exact test that would be proctored here in New York State because it's an internationally recognized exam. And I think that that's maybe some of the questions that are going to come up is how would we want that to be? Do we want to be, if you think about the Prometrics test, we're kind of hands off, except that we used to handle the check. We didn't proctor the test. I mean, we did at the city hall, but they had their own person here to proctor the test. So we gave them a facility to do the test, but we were hands off. All we did was take the check and send it to Prometrics and wait for them to tell us that the person passed. The ICC test, I don't want to speak too much out of line, but the ICC test, you can take that exam whenever it's available at a proctoring facility.
Mhm.
So I don't know, I guess maybe one of the things I wanted to just breach with that is that we want to be hands-on with the test, or we want to just say, is it just something to think about? How would we want to acknowledge the ICC test, I guess? Because in this instance, I just want to just point something out. This guy gave us an ICC test that passed within, I think the date on it that he passed was in the last 2 years or something. So in this case, let's say that we adopt the ICC test, would we be able to just send this person right to, if we agree that his background is good and he's passed the test, and we accept his payment to issue a license, can we issue a license? I mean,
I think that's a discussion that Kurt's going to have to be involved in.
that's what I'm saying. I don't want to speak too much out, but I'm just saying that that's
Mhm.
one of the options. I think that, like the town of Tonawanda and Amherst, that's sort of what they look for.
Right.
Just something to think about, because I think it opens up a lot of opportunities for us to not even be involved with the test and still have a reliable test that isn't, the answers aren't out there for somebody to sell.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the past, if somebody had taken the Prometrics exam within the last year and passed it, then we would automatically give them a license.
That's kind of the point, Dennis, is that we've sort of already, we have that ability at the exam board to say, well, this person's taken the same test someplace else, and we've issued licenses. And I think that, I don't know, I'm going to go and take the ICC test after the first of the year, just so I can see what it's like. I want to know what the test is like. It doesn't hurt me to have the ICC exam, the master's license. But I think it would be good to know what's on that test. I'm going to
Agreed.
take it after the first of the year.
Okay, so are we approving Mr. Booth or
Yeah.
not?
Approved,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yes,
Approved.
Yes, okay,
yeah.
okay,
I didn't mean to run that off the rails.
that's okay. So the next one is Kirtan Cannon.
I'm good with him.
Approve.
Yes, approved.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. The next one is Samuel Doyle.
I'm good with that one.
Yes, approved.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. Next is Nicholas Demel.
I approve that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
Good.
approve.
Approved.
Okay. Next is Joseph Januso.
I'm good with Joe.
Yeah, good.
Approved.
Okay.
Now, Lisa, are you taking into account which license they're going for as well?
Yes.
Okay, because Doyle and Dremel were single phase?
Right. That's all on the application. I'll make sure to include that in the minutes.
Okay,
Okay. The next one is Michael McMullen.
I'm good with him.
I'm good.
Approve.
Approved.
Approved.
Okay. Samuel Nevin.
Approve.
I'm good.
Approve.
Approved.
Riley Richardson.
I'm good with that.
Approved.
Approved.
Approve.
Approve.
Eric Robson.
Good with him.
Approve.
Approved.
Michael
What was
Smith.
that? Oh, go ahead, approve. Sorry.
Next one is Michael Smith.
I have a question about the notary stamp. That is just written. Does it matter if it's written or stamped?
I was wondering the same thing.
It doesn't, as long as they have the, their notary number written out, that can be verified in the county in which they are, certified in, you can confirm it online and that's sufficient. I don't have the
Okay.
application in front of me, but if the number's on there, you're good.
Number was on there.
Okay.
I guess my only question was on the education that, I mean, I couldn't read this transcript. I'll admit that. But does that add up to 2,000 hours of education?
Yeah, I got 6,000 without the Alfred State. And then he's got Alfred State would probably be the equivalent of over
Yeah, so-
1,000 hours.
So Alfred State is 2 years for this electrical construction and maintenance. I took that there.
Okay.
So it's
That
4
was it.
semesters.
Are we approving Michael Smith then?
I
Yes.
approve.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
The next one is Warren Smith.
Approve.
I'm
Approve.
good.
Ooh,
Approved.
Okay, and the last one is Ashton Thurninson.
Ashton, he's the guy from California that I have questions about. Number one, is he relocating here? Why is he applying for a license in the city of Rochester? His resume seemed kind of vague. Actually, he lives in Philadelphia, but his work experience is in California. So I apologize for that. He lives in Philadelphia. His experience is in California. And this is one of the ones I was talking about, GAF Energy LLC and Tesla Energy Operations, but there's nothing on here. You know, he's originally from Ohio, lives in Philly, worked in California for a number of years, but there's nothing on here that says anything about what he did at those facilities other than he worked for 50 hours a week. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought that's
I
what the
agree.
reference letter covered though, was that they were doing single phase, like this, his is for single phase work. Doesn't the reference letter cover that?
It talks about single phase, but no, the reference letter didn't actually say what he did. He could just be putting in battery charging stations for all I know.
That's
Or
my
maybe not even-
question. He's applying for a single phase license here. And the only work experience he has is GAF Energy and Tesla Energy in California. He's applying for a single phase license, but neither of those, in my mind, would be single phase, quote unquote, residential applications. So, and with nothing on there that says, hey, I worked at GAF, this is what I did there. Maybe GAF Energies, maybe they build small homes or something. I don't know. I don't know what they do. Don't know
So
what
do you
he is.
want a letter sent to him that as describing his duties as well?
I think that
Yes.
would,
yes.
yes. And usually you get something from that employer, right? You get a work history or, you know, you get something that is from that employer that says this person was employed from this state to this state as a facilities electrician, or, you know, we get those letters all the time. So.
Okay. Okay, those are the applicants that I have.
Okay.
Did you have Zachary Belair on there?
Yes,
Okay.
We approved him.
I didn't have it. Okay. Good for me. Okay. All right. No exam results to approve, so we're down to miscellaneous business. I know we covered some of the stuff already, but the one item that we had outstanding was the incident report. You know, I think maybe my suggestion would be to have an incident report summary, maybe for each meeting, that would come once a month or however often we meet, that would come from that would actually give us a summary of what the issue is, with who the person would be involved with that issue, and what the status is related to it. So if a person had an inspection that failed and it was corrected, that would show up. Okay, that would be all a closed issue. We wouldn't have to do anything with it. And it would give us an idea. We'd be able to scan down through it quick and see if there's anything there that we maybe need to get more information on. I'll open
After
the
our
floor
last
up.
meeting, after our last meeting, we're involved when we brought that up. We kind of had an off the record discussion about it, Kurt and I. And I think he kind of put it back on us as the exam board to define what an incident is. Is it, I think right now we don't really have a clear idea. And I'm talking, when I say we, I'm talking the inspectors. What is an incident that we should be reporting? Is it that they had to make a small correction and we approved their inspection after they corrected it? Is it the fact that they have 20 open permits for 3 years, not following up and getting their inspections? Is it that they're doing work without permits? Is it, I think what the direction that I got from Kurt was, as an exam board, we need to put together a list of what the exam board sees as a reportable incident. At what level do we take a certain action? So I think maybe that's something we should maybe bring up at the next meeting, but maybe it's something that we could all, between now and the next meeting, just jot down a couple of ideas on what would be something we should report and at what level, when do we report it? When do they get a slap on the hand and when do they come before the board and say, this is something that the board wants to talk to you about? So, again, we want to get away from, just like Kurt said, we don't want to be punitive. We don't want to be the people that are out there saying, hey, we're going to take your license away. We're going to take away your bread and butter. We just want to be able to make better electricians out of the licensed electricians that we have. And hopefully with the, encourage new licensed electricians. We want to have licensed electricians. We want to have quality electricians working in the city. We don't want to deal with the trunk slammers. They're hard enough to catch. We're always cleaning up their messes. We want to encourage electricians to be good electricians. We want to encourage licensing in the city of Rochester. We don't want to impede that. We don't want to penalize people for making honest mistakes. The honest mistakes are the ones that we try to correct in the field. It's the ones that are doing work without permits and, avoiding licenses by letting other people work under their license or pulling permits for other people. Those are the things I think we need to, as a board, identify and quantify what that offense is and then how it gets handled. So between now and the next meeting, maybe that's something we can all just bring, an idea of what the violations would be that we would want to know about as a group of people, as collective people. We want to know these things are happening.
I guess that's why I had, was thinking of the summary, not necessarily to penalize anybody for it, but just to give us an idea of what's happening out there. You see it from day to day, Vaughn, but the rest of us may not have any idea of what's actually happening out there. So I was thinking the summary report would at least give us an idea of what's actually happening. If we're seeing a lot of repeat inspections because they failed the first one, that's not necessarily means it's a penalty against that person. It just means that, hey, if we're seeing a lot of these, we need to get out there and educate the populace on maybe some different items.
Correct. Maybe I misunderstood the last time, but like I said, after Kurt was involved the last time, we kind of, like I said, we had a discussion after that meeting, just to make sure I was going in a direction that he was comfortable with too. I mean, it's all new for us. We're trying to make things better. We're trying to, the board hasn't really known about a lot of incidents in the past because they didn't get reported because it takes a lot of time and effort to do that. Let me do this so we can all bring something back to the board the next time. And I hate to, we're rolling this out again to another meeting, but a lot of stuff has happened between then and now too. We can all bring something back to the board of what we think, we, everybody here, bring something that they think is important. I'll get the other two inspectors together and we'll put together that summary of what we think should be the hierarchy, if you will, of incident reporting. So is it the fact that they made a correction? No, because that's hopefully they're never going to make that again. But, you know, somebody that's working without permits might be that's a high level offense because it causes everybody down the road that's associated with either that property or that project, it just causes conflict and confusion. So I'll go back. I'll meet with Bob Plata and Adam Rumpf and myself. We'll put together a list of what we think. And by the next meeting, I'll try to get that summarized and put together in what we feel the three amigos, if you will. We'll put together a hierarchy of violations and how we would like them handled. And then we can come back and then as a board, we can take that and, send that to Kurt for, evaluation and maybe approval as to how we would do that. Is that
Okay. Okay.
Would that be okay with everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Is there any other miscellaneous business that anyone has to bring up?
I have some, Dennis. At the last
Okay.
meeting, we discussed a letter of complaint that was sent to me from Alex of High Falls Property Management against licensed electrician Jack Lukens.
Yes.
And the board had asked me to send a letter to Mr. Lukens, asking him to submit a letter to his version of what had happened. And he did submit a short statement here to me. It says, to City Electrical Board, I stopped working with High Falls Property Management because they decided not to pay me for work already completed. 2, after ignoring my advice about the safety of wiring at many of their properties, wiring has reached its useful life and needs to be replaced. I decided it was in my best interest to no longer do business with them.
Okay, does that leave any open issues though?
You're talking about the work that he applied for permits for?
Yeah.
Lon, do you have any
Has
input
it
on
all
that?
been,
I'm not sure.
I mean, to me, this is a case that really should be handled by, if High Falls is so upset with him, they have the ability to take him to small claims court or Jack Lukens to take High Falls to small claims court. But I think in this case, I feel a little bit awkward talking about it because I think I have a little bit of inside knowledge on this, but I don't think Jack is wrong in his decision to part ways with High Falls. And I have to be careful because I don't want to sound like I'm disparaging High Falls, and I don't want to make Jack Lukens out to be the golden boy because they're both not.
So
One's
basically,
not
you think
wrong,
it's
and one's not right. There's no right
civil
or
matter.
wrong. They both have a difference of agreements. High Falls Property Management, these property management companies, they're in it to make money by keeping their costs as low as they can. Do they need to replace wiring in a house that's existing? No, they don't have to. There's nothing in code that says that anybody has to replace knob and tube wire. There's nothing there. Your insurance company might differ with you, but code wise, it's pre-existing non-conforming systems of a house that do not have to be updated. And if Jack goes in and says that the wiring needs to be repaired and High Falls doesn't want to do it, then that's negotiating between those two entities. The fact that High Falls didn't want to pay Jack Lukens for work that he did, which I'm not going to speak on, but that's between them. We don't know that he didn't get paid. We don't know that other work was done or not done or anything else. So I really kind of feel like we should just take both their complaints and shelve them. And then if something else came in, then address it. But I really feel I don't know that the electrician has really done, he always gets permits. He's good about getting his inspections. You know, I don't know that I could say the same about High Falls. And again, I don't mean that in a disparaging way. I'm just saying my experience with them is not always, I don't have enough experience with them to say that that's how they always operate. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I think, you know, anybody else wants to speak on that, but I really feel like the electrician made a decision to end his partnership or, you know, working relationship with that company. I mean, that's his prerogative to do that. And if there's any other issue there, High Falls can take the high road and either just get a new electrician, or if they're really burnt that much, take them to court. I don't know. You know, they have that option.
Okay.
All right. I'm in agreement with Vaughn on that.
Okay,
I agree with Vaughn. It's outside of our purview, and that's something they need to deal with between themselves.
Okay, it's a civil matter between the two of them.
okay,
We
Okay.
heard both their complaints, and we're gonna, you know, we heard them, and we're gonna file it, and hopefully nothing else comes up. If it does, then we
if they
address.
want to come back at us, then we may have to do a little more research into it. But at least we've heard from both sides, and
Okay.
there's opportunities on both sides, I guess. All right,
I got one more question. Do we know what test are they taking the 2017 with ICC? Is that the plan? Is that what we're shooting for? Or are we shooting for the 20?
Well, I'm just gonna say this because I think it would be good for everybody here to go to the ICC website, iccsafe.org, and just look at their testing. They, depending on your municipality, depending on the state that that they issue the exam in, you have the choice to choose what your state has at. So there's opportunity to take the 2014 test, there's 2017 test, there's 2020 test, because different states, different municipalities have different requirements. Currently in New York State, we're on 2017. So they have the ability to test at the 2017 level. If we decided that next year the state decides we're going to go 2020, the ICC, they can choose to take the 2020 test. So,
But we're shooting for the 17. That's the documentation I saw on the exam application and all that stuff. Okay.
that is correct. And that was one of the problems with Prometrics, is that we
Yep.
were issuing licenses to electricians that were taking the test of the 2014 when we're administering the 2017 NEC.
okay,
And on that too, as things progress, our training center does have the capability for online testing. We have a series of laptops, in-house laptops for the students to use, and some of our testing certification that we use are online. So if we need a place, I don't know how their program works. They got to do it at home. If they need a facility, I don't know. But as that develops, that's also an option.
Is that an offer?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Having the licensed electricians of the city of Rochester be able to take the IBEW test?
Well, ours is a little different. They go through 5 years worth of it. Some of it is like the electric vehicle certification. There's a national certification, EVITP, that's connected to this electrical infrastructure. And they have to take a test and be certified in a national registry. So that's one of the ones we're actually doing online, and proctoring it through that way. So that's one. Our other tests are, a little different. They're not an online end of the year journeyman exam.
That's what I thought. I thought that they didn't really align.
Right.
The union test didn't really align with the licensing exam.
Right. But yeah, half those kids that are taking it, for all of them from the IBW, they're all 5th-year apprentices this year, topping out. So they're all.
Yeah, right. I've seen a big, the last bunch of exams that we just approved here, the last bunch of applicants that we just approved, a lot of them are coming from the union.
yeah,
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
It's the young guys we got to teach and get licensed, right? We're all aging out.
yeah. Okay, Anything else from anyone? No, I see a few on mute, so I assume that there's nothing there.
No questions here. Nothing more.
Okay. No. Based on that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Second. motion.
Okay,
All right.
I don't.
Have a good
I don't think-
afternoon.
Thank you,
All right,
everybody.
you too,
Thank you,
Lisa.
everybody.
Have a
Okay,
good
Have a
bye.
nice Thanksgiving.